Imagine a city so ancient that its stones have witnessed the rise and fall of empires. Its walls echo with the prayers and screams of millions over millennia. A city that has been destroyed, rebuilt, sanctified, and cursed, yet somehow it endures. Jerusalem, the city of prophets and conquerors, of divine promises and human treachery, remains a paradox, a cradle of faith and a battleground of chaos. But beneath the surface of this venerable city lies a truth so profound, so unsettling, that it threatens to unravel everything we think we know about history itself. Jerusalem's earliest roots stretch back to around 3000 BCE, making it one of the most ancient inhabited cities in the world. Archaeological excavations reveal small settlements on the city's hills, but its significance would only emerge centuries later. Its name, Yerushalayim, likely derives from ancient Canaanite origins, possibly meaning foundation of peace or city of shalom. Though ironically, peace was a fleeting illusion in its history. By the 10th century BCE, Jerusalem found itself at the heart of a burgeoning kingdom. King David, a figure shrouded in both myth and history, established the city as the capital of the United Kingdom of Israel. His successor, Solomon, built the first temple, an awe-inspiring monument to divine presence and national identity. It was here that Jerusalem ascended from a mere city into a symbol of divine covenant, a physical manifestation of faith itself. But this divine promise was not without cost. The city's rise was built on bloodshed, conquests, rebellions, and the blood of countless innocents. The first temple's grandeur was a beacon of hope. Yet its construction and the subsequent sacrifices signaled a dark undercurrent, that divine favor often came with human suffering. In 586 BCE, the Babylonians, under King Nebuchadnezzar, besieged Jerusalem. The city's walls were razed, and the first temple was destroyed, its sacred treasures looted and burned. Tens of thousands of Jews were exiled to Babylon. This catastrophe was not merely a military defeat, but a profound trauma that echoed through history. The exile marked a dark chapter, but also a turning point. The Jews clung to their faith, and after Persia's conquest of Babylon, they were allowed to return and rebuild the city and the Second Temple in 516 BCE. Yet the scars of destruction remained embedded in Jerusalem's stones, whispering warnings of divine wrath and human hubris. The city's fate grew even more complex after Alexander the Great's empire fragmented. The Maccabean revolt in the 2nd century BCE, Jerusalem fell under Greek influence, which brought Hellenistic culture and conflicts. A Jewish uprising against Hellenistic oppression resulted in the rededication of the Second Temple, celebrated today as Hanukkah. The Romans arrived in 63 BCE, and Jerusalem's destiny took a darker turn. Herod the Great expanded and beautified the Second Temple, transforming it into a grand monument. Yet beneath its splendor, tensions simmered. Jewish resistance grew, culminating in the Jewish-Roman Wars. The destruction of the Second Temple in 70 CE by the Roman legions under Titus was a catastrophic event, an apocalyptic moment in Jewish history. The city was sacked, its walls torn down, its people slaughtered or enslaved. This event marked the beginning of a long Jewish diaspora, and the city's scars deepened. With the Roman Empire's Christianization, Jerusalem's spiritual landscape was transformed. Emperor Constantine's mother, Helena, famously identified holy sites and sponsored the construction of churches, including the monumental Church of the Holy Sepulchre. The city became a pilgrimage destination, but beneath its sanctity, factions and conflicts persisted. The city's religious significance intensified, but so did its political volatility. Byzantine rule was marred by internal strife and external threats. culminating in the Persian invasion of 614 CE, which briefly captured Jerusalem before the Byzantines retook it. In 638 CE, Jerusalem was peacefully surrendered to the Muslims under Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab. Patriarch Sophronius, the Christian leader of the city, agreed to hand over Jerusalem after making an agreement with Umar. Umar entered the city with humility, sharing a camel with his servant, showing that he came not as a king, but as a servant of God. He signed the covenant of Umar, promising protection for Christians and Jews. Churches and holy places were kept safe, and Jerusalem became a city respected by all three Abrahamic faiths. Umar also ordered the Temple Mount to be cleaned, where a simple prayer house was built, the beginning of Al-Aqsa Mosque. Later, the Dome of the Rock was added, making Jerusalem Beit al-Maqdis, the third holiest city in Islam after Mecca and Medina. With Umar's leadership and Sophronius's agreement, Jerusalem entered a new chapter, peaceful, sacred and shared, though still destined for future struggles. The 11th century marked the beginning of the Crusades, military campaigns launched by European Christians to reclaim Jerusalem from Muslim control. The First Crusade, 1096-1099, culminated in the brutal conquest of the city, which was subjected to massacres and destruction. The Crusaders established the Latin Kingdom of Jerusalem, a fragile, war-torn state. But this Christian rule was short-lived. Saladin's forces recaptured Jerusalem in 1187, restoring Islamic control. The city's history became a relentless cycle of conquest, destruction, and rebirth, each dynasty adding its own chapter of blood and faith. From 1517 onward, Jerusalem was part of the Ottoman Empire. Under Ottoman rule, the city experienced relative stability, but also neglect and decline. The 19th century saw an influx of pilgrims, explorers, and colonial agents, each viewing Jerusalem through their own lens of divine or imperial destiny. The British took control after World War I, establishing the Palestine Mandate. Tensions between Jews and Arabs escalated, fueled by competing national aspirations, religious fervor, and colonial ambitions. The 20th century saw Jerusalem transform into a battlefield not just of armies, but of ideologies and faiths. In 1948, the State of Israel was proclaimed, and Jerusalem was divided: West Jerusalem under Israeli control, East Jerusalem, including the Old City, under Jordanian rule. The 1967 Six-Day War changed everything. Israel captured East Jerusalem, unifying the city under its administration, but igniting new conflicts and international disputes. Today, Jerusalem remains a city of profound religious significance, but also of profound peril. Its streets echo with prayers and protests, and beneath its surface, ancient tensions simmer just beneath the surface of modern politics. What makes Jerusalem truly extraordinary is not just its history, but the layers of secrets buried beneath. Archaeologists continue to uncover tunnels, relics, and inscriptions that challenge our understanding. Some believe the city's foundations hide artifacts of unimaginable power, relics that link it to divine or demonic forces, ancient pacts made in blood and fire. The twist? Despite centuries of wars, treaties, and faith, Jerusalem's real secret isn't its stones or its stories. It's that the city itself is a living, breathing nexus, a place where history, myth, and prophecy collide. Its enduring resilience hints at a deeper, darker truth, that Jerusalem's fate has always been intertwined with forces beyond human comprehension. And perhaps those forces are still watching, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves. Are we merely witnesses to history or pawns in an ancient game? The city's stones whisper the answer, if you listen closely enough.